start with the basics of a self-introduction. The very first thing that you'll need to say when introducing yourself is a greeting. Now, you can have formal greetings or you can have informal greetings. It depends where you are, the situation you are in. Let's start with formal greetings. Obviously, hello. Hello can be both formal and informal, but it's fine to use it in a formal situation. You also have good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Make sure you pay particular attention to what time of day it is. I have said good morning in the evening and good evening in the morning before. One thing to note is the use of good day. In British English, good day is considered very old-fashioned, very, very, very formal. It's not commonly used. However, it is very common in Australian English. They kind of shorten it down to good day. Good day. And I would say that good day, I wonder what Emma from English will think of me saying good day. Will she approve? I'll ask her. But good day is more informal, but this again is if you're in Australia. It's just something I've noticed people using in my comments section, good day. I can see why you would use it. It appears to be a greeting that is suitable for all hours of the day, when in reality, in British English, it's just a very, very old-fashioned saying. Also note that good night is normally a send-off, an equivalent for goodbye. You say it when you are leaving instead of when you are greeting someone. If you're introducing yourself in the nighttime, you would say good evening. Now let's talk about informal greetings. It's really important for you to find one that you feel comfortable with. There are lots of informal greetings like hey, what's up, hi, hiya, yo. There's even what's good, which is quite an American one. Honestly, if I said yo when I was introducing myself in an English class or in a less formal situation, I would feel really stupid because it doesn't suit me. My particular region doesn't use yo, so it feels a bit forced. I really admire people who can just stand up and say, yo, what's good? But it's not going to happen for me. So make sure you pick one that you feel really comfortable saying. Next, of course, we have your name. Now, there are many ways of introducing your name. The very basic ones like I'm or I am. I'm Lucy, I am Lucy. Or if you're introducing yourself in a situation where the majority of the audience cannot see you, for example, on the telephone, no one can really see you when you're speaking on the telephone. You can say my name is or my name's with the apostrophe S, the contracted form. Or if you're in a very large auditorium or convention centre, then you might want to use this is. This is Lucy. On the telephone, I would normally say, hi, this is Lucy speaking, or this is Lucy. Next, let's talk about location, where you're from and where you're living. There are many variations of this. I'm going to start with the most basic and move on to slightly more complicated ways of describing your geographical location. Firstly, we have I'm from and then the place name. I'm from Bedfordshire. We also have I'm and then the nationality adjective. I'm British. I'm English. If you are from somewhere that is quite far from the place where you're introducing yourself, you can say I come from and then you can name that place. Come from implies a little bit more of a journey. If you want to say where you grew up, you can say I was born and raised in place name. I was born and raised in England. If you were born in one place but grew up in a different place, you can say I was born in France but raised in Sweden. If you want to say that you are from one place but are now living in another place, there are various options. You can say I grew up in LA but now live in New York. I'm originally from Edinburgh but I'm now based in London. If you want to say how long you have lived in a certain place, you can say I've been living in London for 3 years. Or I've spent the past few years in Paris. Now, those are the basics. Let's talk about some other options that you can add on to your self-introduction. A very important option is your position and your company. For example, I work at Google in the marketing department. You can say I work at or I work for. You would not say I work in and then a company name. It's at or for a company name. You can also say I'm a manager at Starbucks. I'm a position at company. Again, the at can also be replaced with a for. If you just want to give a general idea of the field in which you work, you can say, I work in general area. I work in sales. If you want to give the specific position, you can say, I work as a deputy manager. I work as an accountant. I work as an accountant. You might also want to mention your qualifications, especially if you are introducing yourself in a job interview. If you want to say that you are close to graduation, you can say, I'm about to graduate. You could also say, I am a subject, graduate or postgraduate. I'm a marketing graduate. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in marketing. Or I have a BA degree in marketing, or just a BA in marketing. I'm a biology postgrad. Shortening it down to grad is more informal, so it might be something that you do at a convention or in your English class. If you want to talk about courses or other achievements, you can say, I'm currently taking a course in subject, maths. Now, note the preposition, in versus on. You can take a course in something theoretical, like maths. You can take a course on something practical, like jewellery making or pottery. You can also remove the preposition. I'm taking a pottery course. If you want to say that you've finished a course, it's now on your CV, you can say, I have completed a 72-hour course in or on subject. For the time scale of the course, you can say the number, dash, and then the unit of time, and that together forms an adjective. A 72-hour subject course. A 3-day subject course. Now, if you want to talk about experience, about your previous jobs, you can say, I have number, years of experience in the field. I have 3 years of experience in the neuroscience field at whichever company. You don't necessarily have to say field, you can say, I have 10 years of sales experience, or I have 10 years of experience in sales. You can also say, I've worked in field for however long you've worked there. I've worked in the accounting field for 3 years, or I've worked in accounting for 3 years. Now, if you are in a more informal situation, one in which you're introducing yourself to make friends and to meet people and to get to know each other better, you may want to talk about your family. Now, obviously, there are the normal things like I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a mum and a dad. But what if you want to give a little bit more information and also show off your language skills? One common mistake I hear my students make is when they're trying to talk about how large or how small their family is. They want to tell me how many family members there are in their family. I often hear them say, we are 5 in our family. This isn't correct in English. In English, we say, I'm from a family of number. I'm from a family of 4. Or we are a family of 4. That's a really important one for you to remember. It's a mistake I hear very frequently. If you want to talk about how many brothers or sisters you have, you can say, I am one of 4 siblings. Siblings doesn't specify the gender, so you don't have to say 2 brothers, 1 sister. You can just say siblings, 3. I'm one of 4 siblings. Or even if you're already talking about families, you can just say, I'm one of 4, and they'll understand you. If you have no brothers or sisters, you can say, I am an only child. I'm an only child. You might want to talk about hobbies. You have all the usual phrases like, I really like running, I really enjoy tennis. A really good phrase, I think, is, I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of go-karting. You can also say, I am a keen, and then a noun. For example, I'm a keen runner. Or I'm a keen tennis player. Now, I've left this one till last because really it really isn't as necessary anymore. But it's important that you know how to say it. It's age. We have the basic one. I am 25 years old. We can shorten it down. I'm 25. If you don't want to specify your age, you can say, I'm in my early, mid, or late, and then your decade. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, teens as well if you're really young. I'm in my mid-20s. She's in her early teens. He's in his late 40s. You might also hear people say, she's a 20-something marketing graduate, or he's a 30-something accountant. That's if you don't know their age or you think it would be rude to try and guess their age. Now, the last point in this vocabulary section of the lesson, I want to talk to you about the dreaded fun fact. I've been to a lot of events, I've been to a lot of conventions, and I've had to introduce myself in a lot of English classes. And something that teachers and speakers love to ask you to do is give a fun fact about yourself. I must admit, I have asked my students to provide a fun fact about themselves. It's annoying because you have to stand up and say my name is, my job is, and my fun fact is, and that can be really, really daunting, intimidating. To suddenly think of an interesting fact about yourself is really, really hard. So I highly recommend that you have a fun fact up your sleeve, a fun fact prepared. Think about an interesting fear, a weird like or dislike. A good one is always your pet, or a strange achievement or extraordinary experience. I always say that I have hypermobility, and then I'll just show them my thumbs, or dislocate my shoulder blade. That is twice in a month that I've done that on YouTube. I need to calm down.